bad news. It's to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on his ass real quick one time. 144, bitch. Run that shit up, Say.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that bitch, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me home guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about it anymore. I need a Vaselina like my Nina Papa boy. Took a sock, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them go. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Holiday. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Throw them boys, we taking notes. Call them up like set the date. Bitch in a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I'm making this like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas. Get your knife and your fork. He ain't locking with the counting when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. Can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and outdone. Take them with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, you gon' start. Yeah, know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, fuck. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Like smart. Pinto, kill the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans get locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died. You want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew. You are Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun that would die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth. I had to make it clear how Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947. Your menorah got 9 sticks. It's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world. Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs, bunch of thieves. Culture vultures ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander, and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you live there. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. UPK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard named kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi why he give them babies herpes. I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, that's what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'll punch you in person. I know this is an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ. They the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas. They're a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth. Niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4. I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews.
That is absolute proof. Hey, shalom. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakathon. Yahweh Shemar Athon Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. This I.S.U.P.K, Kentucky, Tuesday Brotherhood class, 301 York Street, Meeting Room 1. And what we do, we teach the truth about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You feel me? According to the Bible. And what I want to do, I want to clap it up for the brothers in Milwaukee that went on to that reservation, man, and passed out them clothes and stuff, man. Because that just showed that we love our people, man. Feel me? We really do. We don't know them brothers from a can of paint, but we went up there, ain't no telling what could have happened. Could have got robbed, killed, all type of stuff. But went up there and did the work. Because we love the North American Indians. That's the so-called North American Indians. They the tribe of Gad. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. How celebrating Thanksgiving is anti-Semitism. Because they keep throwing out this word anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic. And when they don't know they've been anti-Semitic since the Romans and the Greeks. What? Come on, man. Egypt. Feel me? Because the real Jews are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So if I could, let's get into that first article, the one I sent you about the New York orders.
Okay. CBS New York. New Yorkers order schools to commit to changing Native American team names by end of 2022, or risk losing state aid.
Mm-hmm. And that's so heavy because what you doing is opening up a can of worms. You feel me? That's what they did. That's what they did with this, trying to protect the Jewish community, LGBTQ, all that stuff. You feel me? You opening up yourself, you feel me, to be harmed in other ways. Because now America also has to, you feel me, think about what they've been doing, or they'll be called hypocrites. So now, because they want to protect the Jewish community, the LGBT community, you running around with football teams and basketball teams called the Redskins, called the Indians, and they figure, oh, well, we're going to have to do something about that. Go ahead.
An upstate New York public school district that sought to keep its Indians team name, logo, and mascot has lost the court challenge. The state's education department is now mandating all public schools to stop using any Native American imagery. CBS 2's Jennifer McLogan reported Monday.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. That's what this article is about. It's about how they opened up a can of worms. You feel me? And that's the Most High. Like, you feel me? A lot of people out there seeing what they doing, the Kyrie and Kanye, it's all good. Everything is going to be fine because they opening up a can of worms to the truth. You feel me? To the truth, man, that we are the Israelites, man. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians are the Israelites. Now they got to act like they helping the Native Indians when they don't give a damn about no Native Indians, and we're going to get into that in a minute.
There are estimated 60 school districts in New York that still use a Native American mascot or logo.
Mm-hmm.
On Long Island, Sewanhaka, Manhasset, Somerset, Massapequa, Brentwood, and East Islip are determining their next moves. A court has ruled public schools are prohibited from using Native American mascots, a violation of the Dignity Act.
Mm-hmm. Violation of the Dignity Act. I ain't never heard of that. But guess what happened? There's a lot of stuff gonna come out. Once you open up that can of worms, this is what they did. That's why I say, man, I thank the Most High for everything that's going on, man. Because they's gonna destroy from within. That's how all kingdoms fall. From within. And they opened up their mouths, man. They put what's the saying? They put their foot in their mouth. Mm-hmm. When they did that to Kyrie and Kanye, To all the celebrities that came out and said we the Israelites. They put their foot in their mouth. So now they're going to have to cover all their tracks, but they ain't going to be able to. They ain't going to be able to.
No longer will Native American children be subjected to mockery of their heritage by the misappropriation of their culture while participating in sports and engaging in the day-to-day learning environment.
But why would they even do that anyway? What if we made a football team called the Washington Rednecks? The hell, you hear me? The Carolina Crackers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come on, man. What would everybody be in an uproar if we did that?
If that's how they feel, then they should not be allowed, the parent said. I think Native Americans should be respected, but I don't think that's the most important thing that New York State should be doing right now, Steve said.
I told you. They're not going to be able to combat all that, man. And then it's going to come down to, well, why not? Why not do it for the Indians? Y'all did it for the Jewish people. Then you get to read them scriptures and realize that that's what the Bible said was going to happen.
If a district doesn't commit by the end of the year in changing its Native American team name, penalties including withholding state aid.
Mm-hmm. Which shows that they could have been done this. You hear me? These people been getting money. These schools that's mocking the Native Indians have been getting paid money. You feel me? And they saying they're going to take away the money if they don't change their name. And all this is because of the simple fact that the white Jewish man is being ridiculed. You feel me? Being called not the real Jew. You feel me? So they got to try to help everybody out. All the gay people getting help. So now they got to try to help out the people that they ain't never wanted to help. You feel me?
It seems an easy enough thing to do to change the names, another person said. In professional sports, the Cleveland Indians became the Cleveland Guardians, and the Washington Redskins became the Washington Commanders.
Wait, the Cleveland name ain't the Indians no more? I ain't know that. It's the Guardians. Still sound a little racist. The Guardians. Yeah, that still sound a little racist.
On Long Island, we were the shelter.
Wait, and they say Washington Redskins became the Washington Commanders. Commanders. Ain't that what they was called? The same people that was killing the Indians? That's what I'm saying. The Guardians, the Commanders, it still sound like y'all on some racist stuff. Feel me? They ain't slick, man. Like real talk. What if I called a team the Cucamonga Cracker Killers? It's like, what if I made up a team named the Cucamonga Cracker Killers, man? You feel me? I'll be looked at like I'm evil and wrong, but you out here with a team called the Redskins and the Indians. So like, you go ahead.
On Long Island, we were the Shelter Island Indians, and now we're the Islanders, said Kathleen Lynch, a Shelter Indian trustee. Lynch said Shelter Island allowed all voices to be heard. What began divisively ended unanimously. The students led way for change.
Yeah, you could drop that, and let's go to that next one.
From the hilltop, the despised Washington Commanders owner, Dan Snyder, willing to sell the franchise.
Oh wait, let me get that with you. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what article this is. This is the article about the owner of the Washington Redskins who finally changed the name to the Commanders because it's racist. Let's see. Let's hear about this guy.
Dan Snyder, owner of the Washington Commanders, has hired Bank of America Securities to pursue a potential sale of the historic franchise.
Mm-hmm.
The decision comes in lieu of an abundance of allegations and investigations against Snyder and the Washington Commanders throughout the past 2 years. There's been consistent pressure on him to sell the team. Dan and Tanya Snyder and the Washington Commanders announced today that they have hired B of A Securities to consider potential transactions. The Commanders said in a statement. The Snyders remain committed to the team, all of its employees, and its countless fans putting the best product on the field and continuing to work to set the gold standard for workplaces in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. So what they selling it for ain't got nothing to do with being named the Redskins for 50-some years, being passed down through their family. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Because this is the history of these people, and this is just how they is. You keep going.
Their workplace standard has fallen flat by setting a gold standard for workplaces. However, many believe the cold and cruel aroma infiltrates the atmosphere at FedEx Field in Landover, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, multiple women accused Commanders employees of sexual misconduct.
Right. That's their nature. That's the problem. The problem is we live in a place that's ruled by animals. These people are animals, man.
That year concluded with more allegations of inappropriate conduct in the workplace. Snyder was fined $10 million.
$10 million. That's why he got to sell the Commanders. You feel me? You probably thought he had to sell it because they was named the Redskins. They don't give a damn. They really don't care. They really don't care about that, man. They doing it because of this anti-Semitism and all this hate speech and all that. They got to not be looked at like hypocrites. They don't care about the Native Indians. They not doing this because they love the Native Indians. They doing this so to the rest of the world, they don't look like hypocrites for changing these names. You feel me?
The NFL later failed to release full investigation report, which was led by lawyer Beth Wilkinson, providing only a summary.
Mm-hmm.
Consequently, the House Committee on Oversight and Reform opened a new investigation into the alleged sexual harassment in the Commanders' workplace. It wasn't long before accusations came against Snyder. The investigations into Snyder and the Commanders persist as the U.S. Attorney's Office in Virginia began a criminal investigation that will evaluate the potential financial deceptions the Commanders instituted. Financial dishonesty accurately reflects the Snyder-led work culture.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They selling it not because of the name, because of the Redskin name, like they love the Redskins. They selling it because their owner is a lustful bastard, man. And his employees are lustful bastards, man.
Snyder has apologized and denied all wrongdoing.
I bet he did.
However, the allegations have choked the sincerity out of any denial or sorrow Snyder ever verbalized and will verbalize. Despite changing the team's name and hiring Jackson Wright.
See? Y'all don't even know it. I'll tell you, America is number smoking mirrors. Y'all thought that they changed the name from the Redskins to the Commanders because they love the Native Indians. Whole time it was a whole internal investigation about sexual misconduct and money. And money with these people, man, because these people is the devil the Bible speaks of. You sitting there thinking like, yeah, they love the Indians. They changed it to the Commanders, which is the same people that was killing the Indians. Like, come on, man, stop it. Whole time it's about sexual misconduct and misuse of funds. And the rest of these people that's changing the names is because they don't want to look like hypocrites because of the LGBTQ and the anti-Semitism and all that stuff, hate speech, whatever you want to call it.
Jackson Wright, the first black team president in the NFL.
And then that's look what they did. Do a black man in there. That's what they always do. When something is going into chaos, they gotta throw a black or Hispanic in there. Like, look, see, he's gonna fix it all. Come on, man. I wonder why. You feel me? Is it because we the chosen people of God, or is it because you feel me? They just want them to take the fall. Either way it goes, it's proof we the children of God.
Fans and DMV natives remain grounded in their convictions about Dan Snyder and the future ownership of the Washington Commanders. Howard University football player and DMV native Bryce Parker believes Dan Snyder should acquiesce to the pressure and sell the Washington Commanders. It's past time for a change in ownership for this football team, Parker said. I'm excited for the possibility of this team being under new leadership.
So you could drop it right there. That's basically it. The rest of the article, they're going to get into like finances and percentages of the stock and all that stuff, which don't really mean nothing. The whole point is they did not change the name because of they love the Indians. They changed it and they put a black man in his place because of the simple fact he is a sexual deviant. And they wanted to hide it. So you can drop that. You go to the last one.
Come, sir. Local news. Biden starts Thanksgiving Day celebrations early.
Who?
Biden.
He not wait. He did it early. He started it. Why not just wait till damn Thursday? He say, no, I gotta celebrate this early because this is their pastime and this is their glory, man. What they did to the Native Indians, they are excited about what they did, man. They not sorry. Why is Biden not canceling Thanksgiving? They so worried about Kyrie saying the Jews is black. They so worried about Kanye West saying the Jews is black. But Biden don't want to cancel Thanksgiving. Why you can't do it? Why not, Mr. President? I'm just saying.
President Joe Biden started Thanksgiving Day celebrations Monday. The National Turkey Federation delivered the turkeys named Chocolate and Chip after Biden's favorite ice cream flavor.
He didn't name the turkeys and everything. That's a lot.
To the White House South Lawn, Biden's 2-year-old grandson, Bo, attended the ceremony.
So I say, man, it's state customs, man. They passing this stuff down to their children. It's state customs, man. This ain't got nothing to do with us, man. The Lord say he hate and despise your feast days. That's because we always celebrated heathen customs, man. And the Lord is tired of it, man. The Lord is tired of it, man. And he's finna open up this place. This place gonna be wide open.
There's no ballot stuffing. There's no foul play. The only red wave this season is going to be if German Shepherd Commander knocks over the cranberry sauce on the table.
Mm-hmm. That's American right there, cranberry sauce. That shit's so nasty. It's lucky.
Biden said about the midterm elections result and his dog, Commander.
His dog what?
Commander. His
dog name is Commander. Washington Redskins changed their name to the Commanders. Same people that was killing the Native Indians, man. They ain't slick. They not slick, man. This place is smoking mirrors.
Biden also served meals to U.S. troops during a Friendsgiving dinner on Monday evening at the Marine Corps Air Station in Cherry Point, North Carolina.
Okay, so the Monday of the week of Thanksgiving is called Friendsgiving. They not, all right, man. Y'all think these people y'all friends if y'all want to.
Also on Monday, First Lady Jill Biden received the 18-foot Christmas tree.
Oh, they can't wait for that.
From Pennsylvania at the White House. The Bidens plan to travel to Nantucket on Tuesday to prepare for Thanksgiving Day with family. Biden turned 80 on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. They celebrating it early. That's your president. He could stop Thanksgiving. He could say this is anti-Semitic. This is evil to celebrate this day. But they ain't stopping. Cause that's his pastime. Just like they said his grandson celebrating 2 years old. Good.
Yeah, so like I said, if I may, wouldn't they taking down Confederate statues last year?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I said all that stuff is just to look like they not hypocrites. Like they mad at us for what we saying. You feel me? Because we causing all this uproar with what we saying about what they've been doing to us. And whole time, look what they doing. So they got to make it look like they not hypocrites and stuff like that. So yeah, if I could, let's get into the scripture. Let's go to Job 12:6.
Come on, sir.
Yeah, that's all it's about. It's about them not looking like hypocrites, man. Celebrate Thanksgiving is anti-Semitic. No denying it.
It's like it's 12:6.
Yeah, count 12:6-8.
Come on, sir. The book of Job, chapter 12, verse 6. The tabernacles of robbers prosper.
Mm-hmm. They do. This place is robbers. The tabernacle of robbers at that. They robbed the whole nation of their culture, their land. You feel me? And they prosper.
And they that provoke God are secure.
They provoke God. You feel me? But as of now, it seems like they secure. It seems like they all right. Because all these kingdoms, they be all right. Until the judgment come. You feel me? And then it's like, it's a figment of your imagination. You feel me? Like Egypt, Rome, Greece. They provoked God. They was tabernacles of robbers. And who they was robbing? The children of Israel. And now look, there's nowhere to be found. And that's exactly what's going to happen to this place we living in right now.
Into whose hand God bringeth abundantly. Verse 7. But ask now the beasts.
Ask the animals. Ask the buffaloes. Where the buffaloes at? Where the dodo bird? You hear me? Where's all these animals that once roamed around? Where they at?
And they that shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee.
Where they at? They extinct. Where's the white rhino? I wanted a white rhino. No, but where's these animals at, man? They was once here and now they poof, they gone. Just like this kingdom gonna be. It's gonna be like poof, like we was never here.
Verse 8. Or speak to the earth.
Speak to the earth. You know why all these earthquakes happening? Because they taking all the damn oil out the ground. You feel me? You taking all that damn oil, them liquids and fluids out the ground because you're so goddamn greedy. You such a tabernacle of robbers. Now you got all these earthquakes and these hurricanes and all these tsunamis and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like I said, if I may, what you bringing out is so heavy. I was just reading something yesterday that like 90% of the earthquakes happen right here in North America.
Damn.
Or the world's earthquakes.
Right, because they draining that damn oil. All that damn oil they drain. And then they so greedy, they don't even use it. They using theirs. They using I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Russia or the Middle East, somebody. They using theirs and saving theirs for like a rainy day type of shit. Excuse my language. Like they just so greedy. That's a tabernacle of robber. You taking all the oil coming from here, coming from Venezuela, ain't even using it. You feel me? You got it stockpiled somewhere else.
And the fishes of the sea.
Right, but hold on, wait. And what's so heavy about that too also is because of the tectonic plates. You feel me? They need lubrication. They don't got no lubrication, just like your engine. You feel me? The engine need lubrication or it's gonna lock up. And the earth gonna lock up. And what happened? Now it's an earthquake because it's dry. For just some science in the Bible. People tell me we don't believe in science. Yeah, it's right there in the Bible. It's science. Boom. There you go. So
and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee.
And the fishes of the sea, man. It's a lot of extinct fishes. A lot of them. But most importantly, that shrimp, crab, and lobster. Ask them. They supposed to be cleaning the earth. Instead, they getting ate. It's considered a delicacy, man. Because of the tabernacles of robbers, which is the so-called white man, They taking all the stuff out the ground, all the animals, and they using them for skin to make shoes and clothes. Stuff that's unnecessary, man. That's what the cotton and all that stuff for. Feel me? But yeah, ask the animals. They'll tell you who the tabernacles of robbers is. Ask the earth. They'll tell you who the tabernacles of robbers is. Ask the native Indians, man. The tribe of Gad in the Bible is what they call the tribe of Gad. Ask the native Indians who is the tabernacles of robbers, and they'll tell you. Feel me? They say speak with a forked tongue like a snake. What they call them, a pale face. Come on, man. They showed you how to live on the land, and you killed them and took it from them. You feel me? Because the white man is the devil, and celebrating Thanksgiving is anti-Semitic. So you could drop that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 6 and 7.
Come, sir. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth?
Right. You ever heard that saying, the first shall be last, the last shall be first? That's true, man. Esau got the world first. Esau's a so-called white man. He had it, and he showed us what not to do. Just like your big brother. If you got a big brother, your big brother showed you what not to do. Esau and Jacob at one point in time were family. They was brothers. Of course, they became two nations, though. They children became two different nations. But at one point in time, they didn't have no children, and they was brothers. You feel me? And Esau showed Jacob what not to do. We're learning from the so-called white man what not to do. And that's what Esdras is talking about. He looking like, man, when the hell this shit gonna happen? He like, well, damn. Like, shit, I know the scriptures. I'm a priest. But when the hell this shit gonna happen? I'm sick of this shit. Excuse my language. I gotta stop doing it. I'm gonna get checked. But yeah, I just be so fired up in these classes, man, because it's just the truth, man. This is what everybody is looking for, and they don't even know it, man. And Esdras was upset. He asked the angel, like, man, when is this gonna happen? I know the damn scripture about Genesis, 25 and 27. I know that the Esau come out first and Jacob come out second, holding his heel. But when is gonna happen? You feel me?
Verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Right, and that's what it's talking about. That scripture back in Genesis. For this is in the Apocrypha. They took the Apocrypha out to confuse you, to mislead you. But the Apocrypha, it correlates right with the Old Testament and the New. You feel me? Go right together. And it was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls too. That's why it was all together at one point, then they took it out because the Roman Catholic Church knew, like, this ain't it. This is talk about war and separating. And we need all these people to follow us.
Verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
Right, Esau is the end of the world. All that homosexuality, killing all the Native Indians, killing all the animals. Man, you is the end of the world, man. You feel me? You is the end. This stuff got to stop. All the stuff that Esau push has to stop. Monogamy, all that stuff, it got to go. Ain't nothing wrong with having one wife, though. I'm just saying. Pushing it on people is what calls sexual deviance. Because now you pushing a man only can have one wife, guess what he gonna do? He gonna leave one for another one. I'm gonna leave you because I only can have one and go get another one. When you destroying women, when you do that. It ain't right. Ain't nothing in the law about that. That's against the law.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Right, and Jacob is the beginning. When Jacob ruled after Esau falls to the dirt, and we're going to get into that in a minute, he's going in the dirt. It's going to be a better planet, and everybody know it. Everybody know it, it's just they can't do nothing about it because this is prophecy that Esau was going to get the world first. And he did, and he's showing us what not to do. Everything that Esau doing, we going to not do it. It's going to be documented of what Esau did when he started the AIDS epidemic because of homosexuality. The war on drugs, crack. Everybody walking around like zombies. We learning what not to do, just like you do from your big brother. You see your big brother getting kicked out the house by your mama. He going to jail, all type of stuff. His homies dying. You knowing what not to do. Like, man, I'm going to do that way. I'm going to do it this way. You feel me? That's all that's about. You go ahead.
Verse 10. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand.
Right. So basically, the hand of man, that's talking about the heathen nations. Everybody, Esau is a heathen nation too, but I'm just saying, at this particular, it's talking about everybody besides Jacob and Esau. That's the hand of man. Everybody is going to follow either the so-called white man or the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, who's ever ruling. They're never going to rule. These heathens is never going to rule the whole planet. The East Indians, the Chinese, Japanese, and they know it. They comfortable over there in China and Japan. They ain't trying to even rule the whole earth. They just want a piece of the pie. And we're going to get into that in a minute about taking on the mark of the beast. They just want a piece. They not trying to rule. Esau was trying to rule. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians is trying to rule. Little do they know it. You feel me? Why you think they walk around and say, hey, what up, king? What up, king? Because we want to rule. It's naturally in us to rule, man. And that's why so many people be dying and getting killed, stuff like that, man. Because it's naturally in us to just rule. You feel me? Because that's how it was supposed to be. But when it's saying the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand, that's what it's talking about. It's talking about all the heathen nations is going to follow after whoever winning. If Esau is winning, they following Esau. They will whatever Esau with. If we winning, they going to follow whatever we say. All the pork gonna be used as garbage disposal. Ain't nobody gonna be kicking it, touching it, or nothing. Ain't the East Indians ain't eating snakes no more. All that stuff is gonna stop, and they gonna be with it. You go ahead. We're going all the way to 14.
Come, sir. Other question, Ezra, asked them not. Verse 11. And answered then and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, if I have found favor in thy sight. Verse 12. I beseech thee, show thy servant the end of thy tokens.
Right, because he know the scriptures just like we know the scriptures. But he is in the midst of an angel, and he want to know, he want to see it. He want to see it. But you got to know what the Bible says, no remembrance of former things. So that stuff is all pointless. But he was a priest and prophet of the Lord, and this story was real heavy. So the Lord saw fit to keep it.
Whereof thou showest me part of last night. Verse 13. So he answered and said unto me, stand up upon thy feet and hear a mighty sounding voice.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 14. And it shall be as it were a great motion.
It shall be as it were a great motion. He asking them like, show me how it's gonna happen. How is this gonna happen, man? Because Esau is ruling the Romans, the Greeks, man, the Americans. They is ruling. Tell me how is this gonna happen, man?
But the place where thou standest shall not be moved.
Mm-hmm. He said it shall be a great motion. But the place where you standing shall not be moved. The earth ain't going nowhere, but it's gonna be a great motion. You ever heard a nuclear bomb go off? It's a real great motion. But the earth stands still. The earth stands still. And that's basically what he's saying. So it's gonna be a big bomb. Boom.
Verse 15.
No, you could drop that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 13 and 11.
Come. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 11. Therefore, whether it were I or they, so we preach, and so ye believe. Verse 12. Now, if Christ be preached that he rose from the dead.
Hold on, wait. 1 Corinthians. Let me see, because I might have got it wrong. 13 and 11.
13 and 11.
No, that's wild.
Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a child, I spake as a child.
Right. This is, if you a grown man or woman celebrate Thanksgiving, you are a goddamn child. What the hell are you doing? You know, you ain't learned that you're celebrating the slaughter of the North American Indians. You don't understand what they did, the raping, the killing, the Trail of Tears. You are a goddamn child, because only a child don't know that. Go ahead.
Like I said, if I made the smallpox.
The smallpox blankets, all that stuff, man. They murdered our brothers and sisters, man. They murdered them to get this land. And if you celebrate Thanksgiving, you are a goddamn child. You are a goddamn idiot. You a little ass boy. You a little ass girl. And you celebrating Thanksgiving. I don't give a damn what you call it. Friendsgiving, this or that. Man, you a goddamn idiot.
I understood as a child.
Understood as a child. Children don't know this. Children don't know nothing about the slaughter. I don't waste a lot. Say we offline. Let me check.
Yeah, I was good. We was
13 and 11.
Come. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter.
Everybody, Esau. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about all the heathen nations. I think we good. It just probably shut down. I gotta get that Wi-Fi thing from T-Mobile. But yeah, though, go ahead with that scripture.
Come, sir. Book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child.
Mm-hmm. Child, you spake as a child. How the hell is you fucking 40 years old talking about happy Thanksgiving? Where the turkey at? Come over to my crib, y'all. Let's kick it. Nigga, you ain't called me all week. I ain't heard from you in 2 years. Talking about come kick it for Thanksgiving. You a goddamn child. Shut up. Little ass boy.
I understood as a child.
Right, you understood as a child. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, you understand you still have a child mentality. You still care about love, hugs, and kisses. You don't care about nothing that's going on. Life is about war. You feel me? That's what life is about, fighting. That's all it's ever been about.
I thought as a child.
Thought as a child. You celebrating this. When you was a kid, you didn't know no better. Nobody told you. But now you an adult with resources and you didn't look up and see that you don't know nothing about the Trail of Tears. You don't know nothing about the smallpox blankets. You don't know nothing about the marching them into the middle of the country. Now they living on reservations that look like projects, 10 times worse than a project building that you grew up in. You feel me? What if they celebrated the transatlantic slave trade? What if they celebrated that? What if Native Indians celebrated that area? You feel me? Now you thinking that. Now you thinking. It ain't good. It's not a good thing to do. But you a child at heart. Most men and women right now, they children at heart.
But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Put Thanksgiving the hell away, you goddamn idiot. It's 2022, man. You don't know that the Thanksgiving is the slaughter of the North American Indians, man. It's 2022. Stop acting like a goddamn child and just want to be all loved and hugs and kisses, man. Forget all that. Wish somebody would tell me to come over for Thanksgiving. I wish you would. So yeah, you could drop that. Let's go to let's go to Revelations 13 and 9.
Come, sir. The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Mm-hmm. If I may, and we just brought out, if you know, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. But now I'm a man and I put away childish things. If you have an ear, hear, and that ain't talking about a physical ear, man. That's just talking about thinking as a man, an adult.
Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
The so-called white man led blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians into captivity, which is slavery. Which is slavery, man. Are we going all the way to 17?
Come.
He that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. They led us into slavery. They going into slavery. Ain't no saving them. Ain't nothing we could do about it. Ain't nothing you could do about it.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
They killed, I tell you, the Trail of Tears. The celebrate Thanksgiving is anti-Semitic. They killed them with the sword. How you think they got to the reservation? They fought. Native Indians was fighting back. Man, but look, the Lord wasn't with them. Because these are the curses that the Most High said was going to happen to us, man. Because they the real Jews.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
And that's the patience in the faith is not doing what Esau doing. You feel me? A lot of people want to take up guns and fight the white man. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Marching in front of the Barclays Center with your purple robe on ain't gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. You have to have faith and patience that the Most High is gonna do what he said he's gonna do, which is lead them into captivity. It ain't gonna have you marching in front of the Barclays Center with your purple robe on. That's not gonna work. You wasted y'all time. Wasted y'all time and energy, man. You go ahead.
Verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
And that's talking about the so-called white man. He speak like a dragon, man. What the dragon do? Dragon breathe fire, man, and kills. You feel me? And it's just John the Revelator. He's just comparing what he's seeing in the future, because he was transformed into the future in his mind, and he's seeing what's going on right now. All the killing, the murdering. And he said this thing that's doing this is like a beast with two horns and speak like a dragon. And what did the dragon do? We all know that as kids, breathe fire. And that's what you think about the nuclear bombs and all that stuff. And that's what that's what the angel was telling Ezra, man. He said it's gonna be a motion in the earth, but the earth ain't gonna move. You feel me? All this is just the river that flowed through the Bible, man.
Verse 12, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him.
The first nation. You gotta feel me? You gotta understand that the so-called white man, you feel me, has had many nations on this earth, from the Greeks to Romans, all that, man. And they all been murderous bastards, man.
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
Worship. That's what those so-called white men want you to do. He wants you to worship him. He don't want you to worship God. Christianity ain't got nothing to do with God. It's about being a good American. Got nothing to do with the Most High.
Whose deadly wound was healed. Verse 13. And he doeth great wonders.
And that's just talking about like Rome, Greece, all of them, how they failed. But then they came back. You feel me? They came back and rose back up to power. You feel me?
Verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from the heavens on the earth in the sight of men.
Yes. This is what John the Revelator saying. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Feel me? The war in Iraq. You feel me? All that stuff, man. All this stuff that the so-called white man's been doing, all these wars he been in. He's seeing it. He said, man, that's like a dragon. They spitting fire out the sky. Bombs is dropping and killing hundreds of thousands of people, man. Thousands of people is dying, being burnt up. That's what a dragon do.
Verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
All this killing and stuff the white man is able to do, it'll make people just want to be on his team. Like, we just gonna believe what you believe. We just gonna do what you say. Whatever you say, it goes. You say the white man, Christ is white, we cool with it. We just gonna rock with that. With all the murder and bloodshed he caused. You say pork is clean, we gonna eat it. We're gonna do whatever you say to do because of the fire that comes out the sky if we don't.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast.
Which they did, which is Caesar Borgia, white Jesus. Jesus ain't no white boy. Jesus ain't never been white. Ain't nobody in the Middle East ever been white. But they made an image for y'all to worship, which is Caesar Borgia.
Which had the wound by a sword and did live. Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Right, that picture is not even real. That picture is a man. That's not even Jesus. But they gave power to it. We throw that picture on the ground, everybody go crazy. We telling you that Christ did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. Everybody go crazy because that's been forced in your head with the sword, with murder. It's been forced in your head, man.
That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right, that's what we saying. You don't worship the so-called white man, and he gonna use white Jesus. He gonna basically get you to worship white Jesus, and the whole time he getting you to worship him with his philosophies. He used the church to push his philosophies. You got Chinese Christians. I seen a Chinese mega church before I moved down here. It's like on the I forgot what part of Chicago went. I think I was in the southwest side, like 50 something. And I promise you, it was a Chinese mega church. It was humongous. Number of Chinese people going in there. That's how I knew, because it was on a Sunday I was riding past. Number of Chinese people going in there. I said, this is a church. This ain't no damn Buddhist temple. You feel me? He making you worship him, man.
Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor.
Right, rich and poor. You feel me? For people that thinking it's a microchip, it's a rich and poor people is gonna do this. How you gonna get a rich person to put a microchip on them and they rich? No. This is talking about the philosophies of the so-called white man. That's the mark of the beast.
Free and bond. To receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Right, in the right hand, because that's the hand of might, power. It's talking about killing, fighting for them. Or in the forehead, just talking about the philosophies, either one. You feel me? And that's what the so-called white man did. You look in his military. It's all type of racism. It's Arabs in his military. They go against their country. You feel me? They working against their country. And undercover and stuff like that in the CIA. Working against their country. Chinese too. Japanese, the Russians. They got all type of different ethnicities in their CIA military and stuff like that. Because they took on the mark of the beast, the philosophies of the so-called white man. And that's the mark of the beast. Go ahead.
Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell.
And that's the point. You wonder why all these people is serving white Jesus, why they worship America? Because nobody can buy and sell, feel me, without his approval. Unless you take on the mark of the beast.
Save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Right. Unless you got the mark of the beast, the number of the beast, or the mark in his hand, you feel me? Or the number of his name, Salakia. Unless you got that, you ain't buying or selling. You ain't getting no real money unless you dealing with America. And you got to give in to the philosophy somehow, one way or another. You go ahead.
So like I said, if I may, is that what Chase Bank dropped Kanye West?
Mm-hmm. Chase Bank dropped Kanye West, yep. Feel me? You ain't take on the mark of the beast. Get out of here. Adidas dropped him. You ain't taking on the mark of the beast, get out of here. You feel me? The Germans took on the mark of the beast. Why you think they paying all that money to Israel? They weren't even the ones that did it. They still paying money. They government. They weren't even there. They weren't even around. Probably weren't even born. The people that's running Germany now. And they still sending money to Israel because that's the mark of the beast. You ain't buying or selling. You're going to be like a third world country. All these countries, I don't care how big they is. If you ain't dealing with America, you're going to be like a third world country, man. You ain't going to prosper at all. And that's why most of these countries end up submitting and take on the mark. Somehow, one way or another. So, yeah, you could drop that. And let's go to Galatians 6 and 15.
The book of Galatians chapter 6, verse 15. For in Yahushua Mashiach, neither circumcision availeth a thing, nor uncircumcision.
Right, because at the time they was ridiculing brothers and sisters because of, if I may, they was ridiculing brothers and sisters for not being circumcised, just like fake Israelites do right now. Well, you ain't got no fringes on your shirt. You feel me? Saying stuff like that, like ridiculing a brother because he's not circumcised when he didn't know no better. So Christ is saying, like, you ain't gotta be circumcised. You feel me? You do, but you didn't know. So you don't have to go ahead and do it now at 30, 40 years old. If you don't have to do it now, go ahead.
But a new creature.
But a new creature. That's what it's all about. The circumcision is the covenant with the Most High. At 8 days old. 8 days old, you're supposed to get circumcised. Your parents didn't get you circumcised. Brothers was ridiculing and, belittling brothers because they didn't do it. When the whole time they didn't know no better. Their parents was so lost into Greek mythology and stuff like that, Roman mythology and stuff. They didn't know none of that stuff. But because you grew up in Jerusalem, you knew. But Christ saying ain't none of that stuff even mean anything if you're not a new creature. You were circumcised at 8 days old, but you eat pork every day. You a sinner. You have sex with whores. What the hell is the difference? But him not being circumcised, but he keep the law. Like, come on, man, stop it. We going all the way to 17.
Come, sir. Verse 16. And as many as walk according to this rule.
Right, according to this rule, this philosophy that Christ teach, which is the laws and commandments, is still in effect. You feel me? Putting your Israelite brothers and sisters first. That's still in effect. That stuff is not done away with. Followed by this rule. You feel me? Israel shall be saved. You feel me?
Peace be on them.
Peace be unto you. You feel me? You worship this doctrine. You teach this doctrine, which is of the Most High in Christ, which is the Old Testament. We had to be brought back to it, which made it a New Testament, because we didn't have the spirit of the law. We just had a bunch of laws, didn't even understand what they was for. Say don't eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. We don't know why. We don't know it the whole time. It's to clean earth. We didn't know the spirit behind it. We just knew that we couldn't do it. The whole time, well, why not? So what? Temptation come, we gonna try it. And now we got diabetes, heart problems, all type of stuff.
And mercy. And upon the Israel of God.
Who?
And upon the Israel of God.
The Israel, not everybody. I don't say everybody. Say Israel. Israel, not everybody, man. Everybody will not be saved, man.
Verse 17. From henceforth, let no man trouble me. For I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahushua.
Say nobody try, but what do you say, Salaki? I done got touched with. I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Jesus Christ. You got the mark of the beast if you celebrate Thanksgiving. If you not celebrate Thanksgiving, you got the mark of Christ. You feel me? You got his mark. You feel me? And many as walk according to this rule. You feel me? You got the mark of Christ. That's the mark you want, not the mark of the beast, which is Thanksgiving, which is also anti-Semitic. You don't want that mark on you. That mark, you're going to be led down a path of destruction, man. And I feel sorry for you, to be honest with you, because you're a grown man living like a little ass boy. So yeah, you could drop that. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 29 and 25.
Come, sir. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29, verse 25. Thou shalt entertain.
Hold on, let's start at 24.
Come, sir. Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29, verse 24. For it is a miserable life to go from house to house.
It's a miserable life to go from house to house. You feel me? From God to God, philosophy to philosophy. That's miserable, man. Not being stable, that's miserable as hell. It is a miserable life, man. But it's an unmiserable life to be sober-minded. You hear me? Sober-minded. One body, one spirit, one West.
For where thou art a stranger.
A stranger. You a stranger in Christianity. So-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, you don't fit in there. Ask Malcolm X. You didn't fit in Islam. You don't fit in the Buddhist temple. So why don't you go somewhere you fit in at? How about you go find the nigger god? How about you go find a group of people that's serving a black god so you can finally fit in somewhere? Because you don't fit in them other places, man. Them other religions, East Indian religions and stuff. You don't fit in there. The Africans will eat you. You will be the next soup on a stove, man. Ask Joy Morgan. That was part of that the purple faggots.
Thou darest not open thy mouth.
Oh yeah, that dares not open thy mouth. Can't come up against it. You a stranger. Go say something. Not my Jesus. Go ahead, go to that church and try to say, well, hey, well, why do y'all, man, look, why y'all eating pork? You know, when the Bible say you a stranger there. You don't fit in. Come to the I.S.U.P.K and Commander GEN.YAHANNA. That's what you need to do. Come somewhere where you will fit in at.
Verse 25. Thou shalt entertain and feast and have no thanks.
You're going to entertain and feast and have no thanks, man. And no thanks to Thanksgiving. That's what you need to say to people. No thanks. People say happy Thanksgiving, say no thanks. You feel me? Just keep it moving. You feel me? Because you ain't going to have no thanks there, man. Because you are a stranger. That is a white man's philosophy, a white man's religion. That's not your religion, man. That's not your customs, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, to worship the dead, worship all the people that was murdered. That's what you're doing. You worshiping all the people that killed, all them army generals that killed the Native Indians to get this land. That's what the holiday came from. The holiday came from them killing our brothers, man, and actually conquering this place. Then going to war with the damn the Queen of England and stuff like that, so they can get them off their back.
Moreover, thou shalt hear bitter words. Verse 26.
No, that's it. That's it. Moreover, thou shalt hear bitter words. Yeah, because you part of a group of people that don't love you, man. Don't love you at all, man. So yeah, you could drop that. And let's go to Obadiah 1:17.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance.
That's Israel. Feel me? Mount, that's the government of Israel at that.
And there shall be holiness.
Separateness, which is what we need to be, separate from these other nations, man, instead of trying to join them.
And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
Right, we will. The house of Jacob, which is blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we shall possess our possessions. Because right now we being possessed by a group of people. We their possessions, man. We stolen property. You feel me? And we gonna possess them that stole us, man.
Verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire.
Right, the house of Jacob shall be a fire, man. Gonna be a fire, man. They not gonna be able to touch us, man.
And the house of Joseph a flame.
Right, that's the northern and the southern kingdom, which is just blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. That's all together. That's just the nickname. Joseph, because of Ephraim was the leader, and that's where Ephraim came from.
And the house of Esau for stubble.
Right. And they're gonna be a stubble, man. They're gonna be so small. They're gonna be like nothing. You feel me? That's what we gonna do to them. You feel me? When Christ come back, man, Christ's gonna do it. The Most High Christ is gonna do it. It's biblical that Esau is gonna be a stubble, man, which is the remnants of whatever you burn. And the Most High Christ gonna use us to do it. That's why I say the house of Jacob shall be a flame. The house of Joseph be a fire.
And shall kindle them. And devour them.
Devour them. You feel me? What they did to us, they can pay for that. The Most High Christ said so, not us. God said so, that the so-called white man will pay for what they did to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's biblical.
And there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau.
There won't be any remaining. Esau is the so-called white man. They say there won't be any remaining out the Mount Esau. They will not be here ever, ever again. They will be extinct. They're going to be in museums.
For the Lord.
And stories going to be told about what they did. So like,
for the Lord has spoken.
We ain't saying nothing, man. We just reading the Bible. God said this is what he's going to do to Esau. Because Esau is a menace. He is a monster, man. But with that, we pass the class on the precinct officer 500 Hallmark.
Security announcements. Well, the I.S.U.P.K started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother sister. When a new brother sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only.